Hey guys, on today's Talking Mods, we're going to have a really fun one. We're going to talk about the best looking cars of the current production in 2024 to the worst looking cars. Let's jump into it. Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Mods. I had a discussion with some friends and guys in the industry, and we thought it'd be fun for me to give this is my personal opinion, so by all means I want you guys to put your personal opinions. You can agree, disagree, whatever you want. I'm sure it's going to be controversial. I'm sure I'm going to ruffle some feathers if you own these cars, or if you don't own these cars. You might have your personal thoughts. But I wanted to give my personal thoughts, and this was after debate with some of my close friends who are in the car industry, and we talked about it, and we'll start with different vehicles with best in each class. Anyway, we'll start off with the best electric vehicles, because electric vehicles have all gone with these weird looking designs, and one of them actually I thought looked pretty damn good, and I think the best looking is the i7. The BMW i7 this year's looks the best. I think when you see it in person, it looks like a luxurious car. It has its presence. It beats out the EQS, which looks like it's been, I don't know, been smashed into, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to be an S-Class for Mercedes. But a lot of the other electric cars just look, again, like they're trying to be an electric car and look a little weird. This one, being the i7, still has that BMW DNA, looks good, looks classy. That gets the best. Now the worst electric car, and there was a lot of them, and this was a tie between the Ioniq 5 and the Ioniq 6. My God, they're hideous. Every time I get behind one, I just always wonder, what was that person thinking when they bought it? They didn't care about, I guess, what the car looks like. So it is what it is. Now let's go into the best truck design. Best truck design, I went with Rivian. I thought it was the best looking truck design, but it was an electric. So if we're talking about electric, it's Rivian. If we're talking about a non-electric, it's going to be the Colorado. Beautiful looking cars, great job on both sides. Now the worst, and this is going to be controversial, the worst on the electric, Cybertruck. And I think it takes the cake for the worst truck. Cybertruck, come on man, it's not functional, you can't see behind, the bed you can't access easily. It just looks weird. I mean, I probably drew it when I was like 3 years old, and someone decided to make a car out of it. So I think that wins as the worst. The worst gas one is going to be the Santa Fe. Oh, I don't know what's going on there with these design guys, but definitely boring. All right, most boring design for 2024. Porsche. Porsche will probably win this every year because it's the same design over and over. So Porsche never changes, most boring design. Best off-road design. The Land Rover Defender. God, it looks so beefy. It's not the best off-road vehicle, we know that, but it just looks really cool, the Defender. I think it just has a really nice look to it, and I gotta go with the worst being the Jeep because it's just boring. I love the Jeep. I think it's awesome, but it is just, again, just a very, very boring design for 2024. Nothing new, nothing, I mean, I think it's designed for us to just take it apart and make it look better, honestly. I think that's why it's modded so much. Anyway, let's go over to the best sports car under 40,000. So under 40,000, this was a tough one, but it wasn't that tough. I thought it was the Miata. I think the Miata has the best looking under 40,000 brand new car. The FRS used to be in that category, but the FRS looks a lot better than the current generation, in my opinion. But yeah, Miata takes it. Let's go with the best sports car under $100,000. So under $100,000. We can't go into, I don't want to go into supercar realm here, right? Best under $100,000. And this was a tough one because at first a lot of people hate it, but the more I looked at it and the more I spent time with it, and you have to spend time with it, looking at it in person, and I really like it, is the BMW M2. I think the BMW M2 is the best sports car under $100,000. Talking about like MSRP prices that a person could buy, that I think is the best looking for 2024. Now, into supercar realm, over 100,000. This is tough because all those cars look so amazing and they all look good. I do think the Ferrari F8 Tributo is the nicest for 2024. I think they had the nicest one, and I love that. We just heard a rev. I don't know if you guys could hear that on the camera. And runner-ups, I got to give it the runner-ups on this. The Lotus Emira, after having seen it here at the shop, I think it is a definite runner-up. Very nice. I think the pictures don't do it justice. And another one, if you know me, just have a soft spot for Aston Martin, maybe that James Bond, that classy look. The Vanquish is just so damn nice. The Valhalla just looks weird. Something's wrong with the front end, but the Vanquish just looks right. So those are runner-ups. But the Ferrari F8 Tributo gets it. And now the winner of the best overall sports car of all the sports cars, this might be a surprise, the 911. It was boring, but it is the best. It is always clean, it is always classy. It's the one you're gonna go to, and it's the one that you're gonna probably buy. So yeah, let's go with that one. Let's go with the worst looking sports car. It's also the fattest sports car, the Nissan GTR. Sorry guys, I just think it's the worst and it's the fattest. Worst looking car that everyone says looks good. So the reviewers, the magazine, this is my personal opinion again, guys, and ruffling up some feathers, is going to be the Alfa Romeo Giulia, and I got to put in almost a tie there with the Maserati Ghibli. Sorry, guys, the Italians. Maybe it's the reliability on these Italian cars, but they definitely just don't look good now. They look good, and maybe initially when they came out, but they just look terrible. And everyone says that they look so good, I just can't get into it. And the most outdated car, if you were to purchase today, in the shortest amount of time, so the cars that I think are going to be the most outdated, like let's say 3 years from now, the Corvette. I know. The Corvette, the Chevy Corvette, I think is going to look the most outdated in a shortest amount of time. Plus, any Kia. Sorry, guys. Any Kia right now will just look outdated. For some reason, every single Kia that comes out, 3 years later, it just looks outdated to me. Just so happens. Most common car on the road. The car that you see everywhere. And this is usually going to be the color that's going to be the cheapest one. Sorry to offend, it's probably going to be the Model Y, followed by the Model 3, which almost looks identical. The Model Y, you see it everywhere. So, most common car on the road. All right, so now I'm going to give you guys the best overall. This is my personal opinion. I have really thought about this one, and I really do think the 2024 Lexus GX 550, especially the Overtrails, in a brown, I love the brown, but all the other colors look great. The gray is the best looking overall car. Not talking about performance or anything like that. I just think something about the way it looks, the way it has that demeanor, very similar to the M2, but it has that demeanor. I think it takes the best overall looking car. That is my pick for 2024. I'm sure you guys might have your own. I got to give top honors to M2. Again, it has that something with a new design style that we're starting to see in 2024 with those boxy lines, but still modern-esque. I think that is a very futuristic, and it gives it for this time period in 2024, this era of cars. And I think those are the best overall looking cars. And guys, for the top honor for the most POS piece of looking car, I can't imagine why anybody would get it. And this was a tough one. I said the worst looking EV was the Ioniq 5 or the 6. I got to give it to the Ioniq 6. It just looks hideous. I can't stand it. From the back, it looks weird, the way the spoiler, the front, the way it sloops down, the weird lights. Nothing makes sense about it. I think I know they're giving out deals on these things, but damn, it looks ugly. And I don't know, that's the worst. Anyway, guys, put it into your comments. I hope you enjoyed this. This will also probably be one of the last times in this location on this office. So I do appreciate, as you've watched this, we'll transition to a new office for you guys, a new studio. And as always, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.